Hello friends, welcome back to the show. So glad to see you all once again as we continue to review each and every episode of Batman Beyond. We're only the second episode into it, so there's plenty of time to get caught up. If you're new here, please be sure to hop below and hit the subscribe button because we're going to be going through each and every episode, as I just said, reviewing them episode by episode and giving you a take on them, what I think of them now, looking at them 20 years later as an adult. Very mature and wise in my ways versus being a child. Or just watching cartoons again now for fun. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe. And if you're coming back, welcome back. I'm glad to see you as well. And here we are, jumping into the second episode of Batman, the Animated Series continuation. Batman Beyond. And of course, stick around today as we talk about the second story of Batman Beyond, but third episode technically, because the first one was a two-part. Anyway, we're talking about Blackout, which originally aired on January 31st, 1999.
What a pleasant surprise.
Well, now it feels like we're officially getting started into the series. We had to get through the two-parter, which was good. If you haven't seen that, please check that out. The two-parter pilot episode, Rebirth. But now we're talking about Blackout, the second episode where we really we got all the establishing and origin stories out of the way. Now we're really jumping in and hitting our stride. And we're introducing a new villain, Inque, into the mix, which is all very exciting. Because as you know, one of the great things about Batman is the Rogues Gallery. And of course, now that we're in the future, we need a new Rogues Gallery. And this villain is a formidable threat to Batman, which is very exciting. But we'll get into all that right after our 60-second Beyond Bomb, as I give you a rundown of the episode in 60 seconds or less. Not so much success last time. Let's see if I can do it this time. We start off in a warehouse where things are checking out and security guards, and then we see this, everything's supposedly going well, but then we see the shadow come to life and starts blowing everything up. And then we go outside of that, and we see Bruce Wayne visiting Powers at the Wayne Powers, and he says, I just want to remind you that Fox Tekka is Lucius Fox, the owner, is a friend of mine, and I hope we're not battling them after all those explosions. He goes, oh, no, tut, don't touch that. And it turns out to be the shadow creature that we saw blowing up everything. And she goes, I'm worried about Wayne. He's an old man, don't worry about it. And then this happens again, but this time Batman is there to fight, and she gets away because she can morph and shift and shape and into different things. She gets away, and Batman is back talking to Bruce Wayne. And he goes, I don't know much about this crime fighting business. And he goes, you'll figure it out. And then it happens again, and this time Batman interferes, and Powers goes, okay, I want you to kill Batman. Tells Inque, I want you to kill Batman and whoever's helping him. And then so she hops on the Batmobile thing and gets back to the Batcave, and she starts fighting, and then Bruce dons the kid. Greg goes, I'm so excited. The Greg goes, oh, wow. That was quick. 60 seconds is fast. It's much faster than I thought. I was excited about Grey Ghost. Bruce Wayne puts on the Grey Ghost costume and fights Inque, and then he calls Commissioner Gordon, Barbara Gordon, and he says, hey, our new Batman has a gift for you. And she looks out and sees Inque frozen in a net.
Not exactly a fast learner, are you?
So I'm sure one of the challenges of coming up with a new series for Batman is creating new villains. And that's always been one of the appeals of Batman, I think, is the Rogues Gallery. You got the Joker and the Penguin and Riddler and Two-Face and Clayface, No-Face, and all these face characters. There are a lot of face characters.
I have a condition. I trust you'll be discreet.
Anyway, you got all this Rogues Gallery, and you got years and years and decades of comics to pull from and other shows to pull from the originally animated series. And now, although they did create a few for that, and now they have to have a clean slate. You're now in the future. And again, the easy thing to do would have been, let's just have the kids of all these villains come out and or copycat villains of the past characters, and they didn't. I mean, they do some of that, I'm sure, but this one is a completely brand new character and kind of cool. I really like Inque, the very formidable female villain, which I thought was a great choice to start off with this villain because it's It's a power that we've seen before, of that kind of shape-shifting thing. But again, it has nothing to do with Clayface, and it's not even the same sort of thing where she becomes other people or looks like other characters. But she can just mold and shift and dissolve and reform and slip in cracks and all those kinds of things, which is pretty cool. And I do have to say, I love the part in the beginning where she is hiding in the person's shadow, and just a great reveal of the character. So yeah, a great challenge, but I think they really rose to the occasion to come up with this villain for the episode. She's a great threat against Batman.
Find this Batman and kill him.
And we start learning more about Bruce and Terry's relationship. And we I don't know how far this episode takes place from the last episode or how much time they've spent together between the episodes. It's neat to see their relationship progress, and they seem to be working well together. And Bruce is inviting Terry into the inner workings of this. And I love some of the dialogue that's there in the Batcave. Terry's admitting that he doesn't know much about crime fighting, and I love the nod to the Gray Ghost there at the beginning, and then we see more of the Gray Ghost later, but I love that his suit was hanging up.
I don't even know what half this stuff is.
Way before your time.
One of the things that was a little problematic for me was in this episode, obviously Bruce Wayne has some invested interest into the Wayne Powers company. And so it felt a little bit like him going in there and not threatening, but telling, Derek Powers that, hey, I'm going to keep an eye on things. And even though I don't have a stake in the company, Lucius Fox, who owns Fox Technica, is a friend of mine, and his son was CEO of Wayne Powers when Powers took over, and all those sort of back history stuff. And so it felt a little bit like the motivation behind this episode was Bruce protecting his company. Now, yes, it's all bad that Inque and Powers were blowing up these other companies and this corporate kind of sabotage sort of plot lines, but it felt very much like that this wasn't just going out and searching for crime, but it was Bruce sent Batman out on this quest to bring this down because he's protecting his own interest in the company. I don't think it's quite that obvious, but it, again, felt like a kind of a convenient component of the story rather than just some crime happening at another company that Bruce Wayne isn't affiliated with, and then going, oh, Terry, better check that out. There's these mysterious bombs that are going off in there. Felt like he had a little inside track to that.
I'd hate to find out Wayne Powers was involved in these attacks.
And I do have to say, I love the new Batmobile Batwing Mobile, whatever it's called, the flying car vehicle for Batman Beyond. Very cool. I love that design. I love the idea of a flying car kind of combining the Batwing and the Batmobile together. Again, another iconic thing of Batman is his vehicle. And this, now in the future, obviously he would have a flying car, naturally. But help me out. What is it called? The Batmobile? Batwing Mobile? Flying Batmobile car? Let me know in the comment section what that official name of that vehicle is. But I really like it. I love the design. And again, Terry, fearless that he jumps in and just immediately starts flying. But I guess, again, the suit knows how to fly it and does most of the work for him. So I love these kind of elements that they're building on and taking what's iconic about Batman and building on it and making it their own and making it something that it needs to be for this show.
This is unbearably cool.
And this episode gives an opportunity to really showcase the animation style of this. Yes, the lines are simpler and it's designed in a way to make it easier to draw and easier to kind of mass produce these episodes a little bit quicker. But it's episodes like this with Inque's power of being able to morph and shift and shoot arms and all those kinds of things where they can really show off the animation of this. So it was great fun to watch this episode in just the quality of the animation in the character, but also the flying sequences with the car, mobile, flight, wing. You know what I'm talking about.
What the heck was that?
And by far, I think the highlight of this episode was the whole sequence in the Batcave when Inque sneaks in through the Bat vehicle into the Batcave. That one, we get to see kind of the museum of characters that Bruce Wayne has in the Batcave and kind of highlighting different ones of those. As a fan of the original series, and if you watch my reviews of the original series, you know that my favorite episode of all time was the Gray Ghost episode. To see that get represented in this episode, and not only that, but then for Bruce Wayne to put on the hat and mask of the Gray Ghost to hide his identity while Batman, the new Batman, is fighting Inque, and then come in and kind of get into the action himself as Gray Ghost. I mean, wow. The fanboy in me was just going crazy seeing that.
Pays to be prepared.
And I have to wonder if that was not deliberate, that they have those for fans like me that grew up and loved the original series, that to kind of bring them into the realm of the new Batman Beyond and go, it's okay, you're in good hands. We're this, it's the same people that created the show, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and the whole gang that are behind this. So it felt as much like a convenient moment in the story to also be able to go, hey, it's okay. Yeah, we're fans of this as well. We're going to take care of that.
What kept you?
And I think that's what encapsulates this episode so beautifully, is that they take great strides to move the show forward and to make it its own and not just be hinged on the past and be stuck in kind of this groove of what it was. It felt very much like they took the show and went, okay, let's clear the table, let's clean the whiteboard, and just start from scratch to create a new Batman and see what that looks like, and be able to carve out new villains and new designs and new styles and new characters and all that. But at the same time, paying homage and paying respects to the history of Batman. And I think that, again, it could have been easy to just have a character, a young teenager that is a fan of Batman and just decides to become a new version of Batman on his own and not have anything to do with Bruce Wayne, or have it be so far in the future Bruce Wayne's now dead or something like that. But they made the choice of going, no, let's make Bruce Wayne a part of the story still. And of course, using Kevin Conroy as the voice is a no-brainer, but I'm very happy that they did that, to make him also connected with the show. And I think those elements are exciting for me as a fan of the original series. Yeah, it's a new show, and I look at it for what it is, but it's little moments like that in the Batcave with the Gray Ghost that I go, all right, now we're there's a little something for the older fans, which is fun and exciting to see in there.
That's it. You're showing me everything.
So when it comes time to rank this episode, obviously it's only up against one other episode right now, but this episode was really solid and I think was a better representation of the type of episodes that we're going to see in this first season. Okay, here's a threat, here's a villain, here's what they're trying to do, here's how Batman's going to work to stop that, and introducing all those elements into there. So for all those reasons, I place this at the number 1 spot of my favorite episodes so far. It does beat out Rebirth. Rebirth at the end of the day is kind of, I don't want to say just an origin story, but it's a necessary origin story. And yes, it has a lot of great elements, and I do think that it's going to hang up here in the top 5 realm for a little while, at least for 4 more episodes. No, at least for a few episodes, because it is a good quality 2-parter episode. But I do like the structure of this episode. Yes, the scene in the Batcave with the Grey Ghost certainly helped bounce this up even higher. But at the same time, I like the approach of the style of maintaining what was established in the old, but moving forward and creating something new. And Inque is a great villain to kind of encapsulates what is new about the show and what's going to happen is very cool.
Looks like someone's celebrating July 4th inside their office.
So now, speaking to the fans of my generation, what other Easter eggs did you notice in the Batcave there? There was a lot of stuff that was crashing and falling and lots of things that were being seen in there. But let me know in the comment section below if there's something that you noticed in there in the Batcave that you think that the producers and animators kind of threw in there as a little nod to the older fans. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more episodes like this, just hit subscribe, because I got new episodes coming out every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're going to continue reviewing each and every episode of Batman Beyond. And next up, we're going to be talking about the episode Golem. I think it's Golem. So you don't want to miss that. As always, thank you so much for watching. It is great joy being back into the swing of things, reviewing these episodes. I hope you'll stick around and see plenty more where those came from. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy Knode. I'll see you soon.